My name is Tim Rue, and I serve as Executive Director of 3A Sanitary Standards, Inc. Thank you for making time to join us for this virtual annual meeting of 3A SSI. We sincerely hope that conditions will allow us to meet in person around this time next year. On this slide, you will see the cover of our new annual report, which is available now on our website at www.3a.org. We invite you to read our report and look ahead with us as 3A SSI enters a second century of service to processors, equipment fabricators, and regulatory sanitarians who share a common commitment to advancing food safety through hygienic design. There's never been a better time for you to learn, share, and grow in this dynamic professional organization. So step up to participate if you're not already doing so. We must continue to grow and evolve, but we need your creative ideas and energy in the coming year. Now it's my pleasure to introduce the chair of 3A SSI, Mr. Chris Hilkema, to provide more details about some of our achievements over this very challenging year and just some of the people who've made great contributions toward this progress.
All right, thank you, Tim. As Tim said, I am Chris Hilkema. I'm currently the chair of 3A SSI. In my day job, I work for the New York State Department of Agriculture and Markets. I'm an equipment specialist for the Division of Milk Control. And I've been with the state for 20 years now and been working in dairy and food processing for just over 25 years. So I've been around for a little while. I hope that you and your families have been safe and well over this last year. We've all been through a lot, and the staff at 3A have continued to find ways to operate and move forward during the given circumstances that we are all challenged with. For those of you that were able to attend the education sessions on Monday and Tuesday, I hope that you found them informative and helpful, and I'd like to give a special thanks to our Communications and Education Committee for their efforts in putting together an informative and well thought out education session. I'd like to welcome all of you that have volunteered your time to 3A through service to standards development work groups, the various committees within 3A, and the board of directors. We will have a more formal recognition of all of our volunteers a bit later in this program. But welcome to all in attendance. I'd like to give a special welcome to our student award recipients. Each year, 3A SSI sponsors travel and participation at the annual meeting and education session for a number of students. Students apply for the travel award and are chosen by members of the 3A SSI Board of Directors. Applicants are chosen based on their interest in hygienic design and food safety, which is typically reflective of the work that they are doing within their respective university or college. During what we would consider normal times when we would all be face-to-face, the students would conduct a poster presentation at the annual event. This year, the students have provided video poster presentations that will be included on the 3A event website for the annual meeting, so please be sure to visit the 3A website to view their presentations. The student award recipients for 2021 are Lordwig Attis from the University of Georgia, Franklin Bonilla from Louisiana State University, Cyril Nassam Ayuk Ataka from the University of Nebraska, Holly Hulemeyer from Ohio State University, Susan Jones from the University of Arkansas, Veramani Karupachami from the Ohio State University, Gurpreet Kaur from Purdue University, and Janie Mendoza from Louisiana State University. Congratulations and welcome to all of you. I want to give a special thank you to all of our sponsors. Your support of 3A is greatly appreciated. We thank them for supporting our education programs, and please visit our website as all sponsors have listings on our websites. So the agenda for the remainder of today's meeting will be to review key accomplishments from the past year. We will recognize our volunteers and have a work group update from our Director of Standards and Certification, Eric Schweitzer. Beginning in the second century. So 3A SSI begins its second century. The first standards for sanitary fittings, known as 3A, were introduced more than 100 years ago in the 1920s. Now, as we enter the 2020s, 3A SSI can take special pride in a significant record of achievements. Among these are the creation of a community where information is shared in an open and neutral format. 3A criteria has become the keystone for sanitary design of food processing equipment and systems. The 3A symbol has gained wide recognition and acceptance, and new education resources and expansion of outreach are allowing 3A to engage new stakeholders from a wider range of industries. More challenges are in store for 3A as it begins an exciting second century. Customers are looking for hygienic design solutions, and 3A SSI is more capable than ever before to meet the needs of its stakeholders. The 3A symbol program has remained strong even during this pandemic year. The number of applications of new 3A symbol authorizations did drop in 2020 due to the obvious restricted travel in all regions, but 3A SSI maintained its highest number of authorizations since 2008. This shows a strong continuing demand for hygienic equipment during the pandemic across all segments of the food processing industry. As you will see in the annual report, 3A SSI also collected data from recent purchasers of 3A SSI documents and current 3A symbol authorization holders on what are the driving forces for 3A hygienic design criteria and the perceived future industry demand. A highlight of these shows that FSMA and U.S. dairy regulations are strong drivers of interest in hygienic design. There's strong interest from other industries, including alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverage industries, personal care products, sauces and dressings, meat, pet foods, produce, and cereals. The customer interest in 3A certified equipment remains strong and will remain strong. The 3A SSI expanded protection of its marks. 3A SSI secured registrations for the word marks used in the 3A symbol and the 3A replacement part and system component qualification certificate programs, and the associated design marks for both programs in China, the United States, the United Kingdom, and the European Union. In India, 3A obtained registration of the word mark and design mark for the replacement part and system component qualification certificate program, and applications are pending for the 3A word mark and design marks. As worldwide interest in hygienic equipment grows, 3A SSI plans to seek trademark protection in additional countries. We have to give a special thanks to our Executive Director, Tim Rue, and Director of Operations, Michael Drum, for their many hours of work done with this, and of course, our legal representative, Bart Fisher. The expansion of our recognition. 3A SSI continues to reach out to a broad range of audience each year to solidify its recognition as a trusted resource for hygienic design. You've all seen your email. Every quarter comes 3A Sanitary Design Connections, and that continues to serve a growing and diverse audience of readers from across the U.S. and elsewhere. Over this last year, 3A SSI also authored 4 columns in Dairy Foods magazine, including the importance of non-product contact surfaces, equipment installation and maintenance, the role of the processor, non-metal surfaces, what's new, and readily accessible, cleanable, and substantially flushed fine. 3A SSI also received attention in other magazines and periodicals, including Food Industry Executive News, Cheese Reporter, Food Engineering, and Food Processing. 3A SSI continues to offer 4 basics and 1 advanced e-learning module for a comprehensive introduction to the principles of hygienic design. New this year is the introduction of a series of vlogs called Ask the Expert, which can be found in the Knowledge Center. If you have not already, I encourage you to visit the site and check them out. Again, special thank you to Tamara Tarasova, Larry Hansen, Greg Martinet, and all the contributors to the new blogs. I will say that in our state, the e-learning modules are required for all of our new employees when they're onboarded. And I've actually also been having everybody go to the Ask the Expert blogs. Very knowledgeable, very informational. 3A SSI has streamlined procedures for American National Standards. The American National Standards Institute, also known as ANSI, Executive Standards Council, accredited new 3A SSI operating procedures for the development of American National Standards and a significant step toward higher efficiency and economy for consensus development in 3A SSI. Conforming to the requirements of ANSI for American National Standards has been a mission objective for 3A SSI since its formation in 2003. This is a tremendous accomplishment for 3A. We need to thank Eric Schweitzer, Steering Committee Chair Paul Dix, and Tim Rue. The 3A SSI working groups are maintaining progress. The pandemic has presented a very challenging year for organizations of all types. Volunteers in 3A SSI contributed to major progress on a range of 3A SSI projects. The meeting system that Eric Schweitzer had well established has worked very well with all of our stay-at-home work orders. Now we will have recognition of our volunteers. The 3A SSI Board of Directors, as I've already introduced myself, I'm the chair. Our vice chair is Ken Anderson, Harold Wenis and Associates. Treasurer Jim LeClaire from Alpha Laval. Secretary Rick Hyman from DFA. The directors are John Allen, IDFA. Lyle Clem from ESC. Paul Dix, Maryland Department of Health. Randy Ellsbury of FDA. Carrie Ander Clazen from Michigan Department of Agriculture. Dennis Glick, USDA. Brian Kraus, Wells Enterprises. Scott Lodermeyer, Powder Process Solutions. Greg Martinet, Mead and Hunt. Alan Saylor, TPV Coordinating Committee Chair. And Steve Walker, FDA. The 3A SSI committees. The 3A Steering Committee Chair is Paul Dix. Communications and Education Committee Chair Greg Martinet. Finance Committee Chair Jim LeClaire. And the TPV Coordinating Committee Chair Alan Saylor. The 3A Steering Committee, Paul Dix, Maryland Department of Health. Kevin Bartholomew, Paul Mueller Company. Neil Bendixson, Dairy Farmers of America. Frank DiMattei, High Tech Solutions. Joe Dietrich, Minnesota Department of Agriculture. Terry Gardner, Alpha Laval. Dennis Glick, USDA. Bob Kizak, Anderson Instrument Company. Gerald Noah, USDA. Tara Schulke, Homar Cheese. Richard Shook, Amco Pumps. Steve Sims, FDA. Ronald Thompson, Continental Dairy Facilities. Stephen Walker, FDA. John Yakub, Mettler Toledo. And the non-voting members are Lyle Clem from Electoral Specialties and Alan Saylor, Chair of TPV Coordinating Committee. Thank you all for your volunteering to 3A SSI. The Certified Conformance Evaluators, these are the folks that are responsible for conducting all the inspections of the equipment and giving the 3A symbols. Ken Anderson, Scott Anderson, Paul Bokelman, Lyle Clem, Frank DiMattei, Brian Downer, Dan Erickson, Dennis Glick, Scott Hoffmeyer, Mel Jolly, Paul Kennedy, Gabe Miller, Eduardo Montana, Ferdinand Schwabe, Paul Sturgill, Andrew Tipperley, and Jason Tucker. And now we'll have a special recognition for 3A SSI volunteers. First is a special recognition for Lyle Clem, who served as chair from 2019 to 2020. On behalf of the 3A SSI Board of Directors, I would like to thank Lyle for his contributions to 3A through his service as chair of the Board of Directors. Lyle's leadership and forward-thinking approach has helped 3A maintain its standing as a global leader in sanitary design and has strengthened the commitment toward engaging new stakeholders from a wider range of industry. Our future remains bright thanks to you, and we all look forward to continuing our work together. Our Volunteer Service Awards. The Leadership Service Award is presented to an individual or group who demonstrates a record of significant contribution to 3A SSI voluntary standards development and who has demonstrated outstanding service in enabling 3A SSI to attain its objectives. The 2021 Leadership Service Award is awarded to Craig Reinhardt from Reinhardt Consulting, LLC. Since taking over as chair of Work Group 12, Craig is leading a complicated revision of the 3A accepted practice for air under pressure directed at product contact surface. Thank you, Craig, and congratulations. The Richard K. Smith 3A SSI Advancement Award honors our outstanding accomplishments performed by any individual or group on behalf of 3A SSI. The Richard K. Smith 3A SSI Advancement Award for 2021 is awarded to Rick Hyman from DFA. Rick has been the 3A SSI liaison to eHedge, and in cooperation with eHedge has been working on advancing 3A SSI through the GFSI benchmarking standards. Thank you, Rick, and congratulations. The Next Generation Award is presented to an individual who has been engaged in 3A SSI standards development activities for less than 5 years and has demonstrated leadership, dedication, and significant contributions to the development of 3A sanitary standards for 3A accepted practices. 2021 Next Generation Award is given to Scott Lodermeyer for Powder Process Solutions LLC. Scott's guidance as chair of Workgroup 6 has been greatly appreciated as he has led the group through several standards revisions. Thank you, Scott, and congratulations. I will now turn it over to Eric Schweitzer, Director, Standards and Certification, for his comments and introductions of the 3A SSI Standards Workgroups.
Hi, I'm Eric Schweitzer, Director of Standards and Certification at 3A Sanitary Standards, and I hope wherever you are, you and your loved ones are all safe and sound. 2020 was a harrowing year, and 2021 is just as difficult for so many. But remarkably, I'm here to tell you that we've been able to continue our standards development work at the same rate as before with all of our ongoing revision of standards and accepted practices. Workgroup meetings are virtual, and since they are acting virtually, we've been able to continue our progress at this same rate. We conduct all of our meetings via webinar, so changes discussed are actually visible in real time. For about 7 years now, and since our original publication of the ANSI 3A Sanitary Standard for General Requirements, lovingly referred to as the GR, we have been revising our library of over 80 individual equipment standards and accepted practices so that they have normative reference, which means are mandatory, with the general requirements. The work has been challenging but rewarding, and I'm very proud of the improvements, mainly in establishing very specific additions and exclusions to the GR. Part of being an American National Standards accredited standards developer means keeping an open and fair platform to discuss the benefits of inspectable and cleanable hygienic design for clean-in-place equipment. If you or someone you know would like to get involved and are materially or directly influenced by our standards, we would like to hear from you, and we welcome your participation by visiting our standards and committees webpage. Under this page, you will find our steering committee information, such as rosters, requests for project proposals, and our procedures for the development of our standards and accepted practices. And also under that page, you will find requests for formal interpretations, drafts for public review and comment, and further work groups, their rosters, work in progress status charts, and a very helpful instructional quick guide that walks you step by step through our standards development process. So several recent achievements that I'm particularly proud about are the expansion of our hygienic design principles being adopted within the robotics and automation industry. Food processing equipment has moved into these industries, and we now have a robotic automation-based system and automated milking installation standards. We're also moving to expand our clean-in-place design for wet cleaning applications for conveyors, X-ray machinery, and similar equipment. We're pleased to be joined by members of the compressed air and gas industry as the ever-important compressed air under pressure accepted practice in Workgroup 12. In a matter of a month, we are expecting the publication of 04 3A Sanitary Standard for homogenizers and reciprocating pumps, and number 12 3A Sanitary Standard for tubular heat exchangers. We are also currently conducting a steering committee final approval ballot revision for the 3A Sanitary Standard for compression type valves. This leads me to what I always like to do each year in person, which is to ask the working group chairs to please stand so that they can be recognized and commended for their time. Working group officers, document leaders, and all work group members are all volunteer members, and we so appreciate your time and effort. So let me now introduce you briefly to each of our 14 working groups and their working group chairs. Starting by Working Group 1, Vessels, is being led by Steve McWilliams of Walker Stainless. Work Group 2, Fillers, is being led by Ms. Jean Delisi of Tetra Pak. Work Group 3, Valves and Fittings is being led by Mr. Terry Gardner of Alpha Laval. Work Group 4 for Pumps and Mixers is being led by Mr. Lyle Clem of Electro Specialties Company. Work Group 5, Heat Exchangers, is being led by Mr. Mike Schout of Fick Heaters. Work Group 6 for Conveyors and Feeders is being led by Mr. Scott Ledermeyer of Powder Process Solutions. Work Group 7 for Instruments is being led by a new work group chair. He's doing a phenomenal job, Mr. Nick Williams. Work Group 8 for Concentrating Equipment is being led by Dr. Ron Thompson of Continental Dairy Facilities. Work Group 9 is being for Farm and Raw Milk Equipment is being led by Mr. Michael Kelly of Paul Mueller Company. Work Group 10 for Cheese and Butter Equipment is being led by a new chairman, Mr. Shane Humphreys of Advanced Process Technologies. Work Group 11, Process and Cleaning Systems, is being led by Mr. Gabe Miller of Process Innovation Food Safety. And Work Group 12, Plant Support Systems, is being led by new Work Group Chair, Mr. Craig Reinhardt of Reinhardt Consulting. Work Group 13 for Materials currently has an open chair position, and we are interested in taking nominations. Work Group 14 for General Requirements is being led by Mr. Gabe Miller of Process Innovation Food Safety. We'll also be issuing calls for new Canvas consensus body to review the final work group and steering committee approval of the 5-year full revision and review of our American National Standard General Requirements Standard in the coming year. The standard will also be open for public review and comment as per the American National Standards operating procedures. And in 2020, the working groups held over 90 individual work group meetings. And in 2021, we expect to do nearly the same or more. And I look forward to working with you and hearing your interest in joining our work groups. Also, under the Standards and Committees webpage, you will find further information about our working groups, the working group rosters, work in progress status chart, a work group calendar, and a work group sign-up form so that you may join any of our 14 working groups. Thank you and hope you stay well. Now I'd like to turn the session back to our chair, Chris Hilkeman.
Great. Thank you, Eric. Appreciate that update on all the work groups. In October of 2020, 3A SSI lost a great friend in Dr. Ron Schmidt. The list of contributions that Ron, better known as Doc, made to 3A over the years is a long one indeed, and this short remembrance simply cannot do justice to the impact that Ron had on 3A and the world of food safety. Ron has served on the board of directors as an IAFP representative since the inception of 3A SSI in 2003. He served as chair to the board from 2011 to 2012. We will all miss his straightforward approach to issues concerning 3A, his even-keeled tone when discussing the subject, his guitar and harmonica playing during the receptions, and always having a joke at the ready. 3A SSI will be announcing a lasting memorial to recognize the service and contributions that Ron made to 3A SSI, so please stay tuned for that. So in closing, I want to give a special thanks to all of the staff at 3A SSI for all of their efforts over this last year. Through all of the constant changes and uncertainty that each day would bring, the staff kept 3A moving in the correct direction. Thank you to Tim Rue, Executive Director, Eric Schweitzer, Director of Standards and Certification, and Michael Drum, Director of Operations. Thank you to Tamara Tarasova for the production of all the videos for our education session and the annual meeting. And thank you to all of you for attending the 3A SSI Annual Meeting. If you're not currently signed up on a work group roster, please consider doing so. If you'd like to volunteer in another way, such as serving on a committee, please let us know that as well. It is your participation in 3A that leads to its success, and I encourage all of you to find your place in 3A. I know that you will find it rewarding. So please be sure to join us next year in Bloomington, Minnesota at the Hilton Minneapolis, and I am confident that we will be back in person, connecting the way we used to, having meetings, being able to talk to each other in the hallways and have those sidebar conversations, being able to listen to the music during the receptions. But until then, please stay safe, take care, and thank you for everything that you do for 3A.